I see. Now, you may not know, but I have photographic memory. So when I looked, I seen this black man up there. He had on all black and he had dreadlocks. And I said, is that Jaquan? So I hurried up and got on Twitter so, bitch, I could tell everybody. And I said, bitch, I see Jaquan. Bitch, making googly eyes. And so everybody, here they go. Well, it hasn't been confirmed that Jaquan is here, but I think Jaquan is here. If I said something, that's what it is. You think I'm finna say Jaquan here and he ain't here? Oh, I'm still not a reliable source? Rely on these nuts, bitch. Jaquan was up there like I said. And while the prosecution was giving closing statements, they running notes. Bitch, 3 different times they done came up with a note for Kathy Ty. And so I'm like, child, what's going on? So one of my people had to go to the bathroom, so he had to leave out of the courthouse. Out of the room. And so when we got done, he was like, I need to tell you something. So I was like, oh, tell me. And he was like, oh, bitch, they done found Justin. The same Justin, bigger, stupid Justin. That wasn't never lost in the first place. They done found Justin. I said, oh, too little, too late. Baby, too late to apologize. What the hell you done came up out the woodwork for? So Jody Little talking about, I need to talk to her immediately. Oh, a little too late, boo. So at the end of the day, Justin means nothing. Justin was not there when she needed him. Just like he wasn't there in prison when he had that gun in that motherfucking pool and that bitch was acting like she was so affected by it. Child, please. These people is clowns. Okay? Clowns from Baytown. So anyway, I see Jaquan in the hallway. So it's certain people that's scared to say Jaquan there because I said, they say your titty out. Well, you're welcome. They was like, well, I don't know if Jaquan here. Bitch, I said Jaquan was there and I was right because that's what the fuck I saw. Quit playing with me. So anyway, we finally come into the motherfucking courthouse. And that was like, Tory, you gonna testify, basically? Baby, Tory was like, child, I'm not testifying. They say you talk to your representation, you know all about it, like you cool. He was like, yeah, I'm not testifying. Bitch, I could have jumped up and caught the Holy Ghost. I did not think that it was a good idea that he testify. I did not want him to testify. All it was going to do was try to bring up his past and, sit up and try to misconstrue shit and try to make him to be a monster. That's what they've been doing. So him getting on the stand wasn't a good idea, to me. I'm not the defense, so I don't know everything. I'm not a lawyer. So maybe, had they done that, there would be reasons why. So me thinking that it's not a good idea doesn't mean it wasn't a good idea. That just means that was my opinion on it, right? So I'm glad that he ultimately decided not to get up on the stand. They said, pull it up. I'm glad that he decided not to get on the stand. And that's cool, or whatever. They asked for a stipulation. For anybody that's present that doesn't know what a stipulation is, a stipulation in a court of law is something that is to be taken as a fact. So if I say, take this stipulation, accept this stipulation, the sky is blue, then you admit that as a fact, that the sky is blue. Okay? So shit like that. So the prosecution said, we would like to stipulate that Mr. Peterson was granted a diversion and it was thrown out in April of 2017. Now, why is this relevant? Why is this important? Ask me again in a second who Jaquan is and why he's important. They brought up, there's an allegation that Tory tried to bribe a bitch. And that he allegedly said, well, I'm on probation. I'll give you $1 million. I'm on probation. Don't say nothing. Okay, Tory wasn't on no motherfucking probation. So what the hell you talking about? So then they go pull this goddamn case out they ass from 2017 talking about he on diversion. Babe, even if he was on a diversion, you still would have to go to court. Is that the lamb? You still got to go to court. And you would still have to go through that process and then be put on probation. Diversion is not probation. It was another desperate ass attempt for them to bring up something to try to make that shit stick. Baby, it ain't give Velcro. So anyway, Jaquan Smith, really quickly, why is he important? They said, check your top. Bitch, get these titties and eat them up. Stop telling me that. Just look at my titties. Okay? Now, if too much nipple come out, say something. But a little nip slip ain't never hurt nobody. You want these titties or nah? What's up? Bitch, you know you want to see them. So just look at them. So anyway, so any motherfucking way, Jaquan Smith. Why is Jaquan Smith important really quickly before I get into this? Jaquan Smith was important because Jaquan Smith was the driver that night. Jaquan Smith drove Tory over to Kylie's home, which means that he was present for that ride. He could speak to Tory's demeanor and anything that he heard. He's the one that sat outside all night So he can attest to what he saw in the scene. He's the one that was outside when I was transferring bags. He's the one that had a point of contact with all three of them. He's the one that took Kelsey and Megan almost to the house, but then came back to Kylie's house. He's the one that was present when allegedly, Megan came back to the car and said, bitch, Kylie said we got to get the fuck up out of here. He was the one that took them from that location, Kylie's home, and was driving when they ultimately pulled over, not once but twice, and then this incident, took place. So Jaquan would have been very important if he would have gotten on the stand, because he would have been able to be another person that would have given an eyewitness account, of what happened. Now, what would he have said? I don't know, and now we'll never know. That Emilio Areola is showing. No, it's not. Y'all sure know how to get on my fucking nerves. No, it's not. And whoever just told her, like, you want to help me? Okay, thank you. It's not. It might look a little darker because it's right at the rim, but my titty is not out. Thank you. Come again. So that is why Jaquan was important, okay? Do you have any more questions about Jaquan Smith? Or are you good? You got an understanding? Yeah? No? Maybe so? And I'm going to tell y'all something else I don't like. I don't like people trying to put a motherfucking spotlight on me and my communications with anybody when I'm not the only person having communications. Everybody and their motherfucking mama that's up there that want to walk their ass up to Tory and get a hug, bitch, they do. Anybody that want to go out to the side and talk to him or his family, they do. Anybody that be outside that want to talk to him and his people, they do. But y'all want to focus on me? Do you know blah blah? I've been talking shit about you all this week. What else are they gonna do but watch from the sidelines? Anyway, so let's get into what happened today. They gave instructions to the jury. Instructions to the jury. That was just a long ass, drawn out ass situation where they just basically telling you, like, this is what your job is. This is what you need to consider. This is how you need to go about this process and all of that. If you think I set my ass up there, you said what? You're literally saying right now how you're unreliable and biased, rooting for one side to win. No, you're literally blocked. That's what happened. Bitch, get the fuck up off my live, slut asshole. Okay? So I did not write down every little thing because you can literally go online and you can pull up instructions. It's really simple. It's something like really general. There are certain things that are going to be exclusive to this situation, to this case. But for the most part, it's general shit. So you can go pull that shit up yourself. I'm not finna sit up and go write down every little thing when it comes to instructions to the jury. Bitch, go in the back, deliberate, consider this, consider that, and then come back with a verdict. That's basically it. So now it was time for the closing arguments. And so, okay, X said, don't add me till you done. This ain't gonna take long at all. So, in the closing arguments, and I cannot tell you how excited I am to finally get to this point. In the closing arguments, Bot went up, and I'm glad that he did. Kathy Ty, to me, is not personable. Now, have I tried to have a conversation with her? No, bitch. But you ever seen somebody that look like they got to stick up their ass? Yeah. And so whenever she did get on the stand, she wore her emotions. So if she got agitated, her tone was elevated. And, that's not the type of person that you want to get up there. Baby, you need to calm down and you need to, talk and act like you got some damn sense. And like you got to pretend to at least like a bitch. Like, can you pretend to like humans? She walk around with her arms folded and shit like that. Like, girl, fix your fucking face. So they put the Ken doll up there. Let me tell you something about the Ken doll. Mr. Bot, who I think is a good attorney, who is, dealing with a case that wasn't winnable to me. He's handsome. He a pretty white man. But he can come off pretentious and he can come off kind of arrogant, And I don't even think he tries to. I just think maybe, I don't even know his fucking background. I just feel like, you put a white man up there, that look how he look, that talks how he talks and how he tries to present himself. And I don't think that people relate to him that much. I really don't. But they had to choose the lesser of two evils, okay? So, Bot gets up there and he said, and he started with Megan. and her saying that she was suicidal. You know, if I would have known that this is what was going to happen with me saying something, bitch, I wish he would have just killed me. And that's a statement that I think is absolutely ludicrous. Because when we consider what she's going through, I understand that social media can be hard. But you want to die because of what social media is saying? But you ain't not once publicly stopped your friends from dogging the fuck out of Kelsey? They talked about Kelsey's dead father. They talked about Kelsey's child. They talked about Kelsey like a motherfucking dog. And she don't have the type of systems in place that you have or the resources that you have. Protecting black women, it shouldn't mean protecting one. And that's where y'all got me fucked up at. Sitting up here acting like I don't stand for black women. I play black people's rent plenty of motherfucking time. Black women. I buy black women's children ice cream, candy, toys, clothes, coats, and everything else. When Brittany Bird got pulled up on, bitch, I did a story about that. When Bethany Lateef drowned in the motherfucking pool, bitch, I did a story about that. When black women are hurting in my community, bitch, I talk about it. Megan is not the end all be all, and I don't have to believe every black woman that comes up with a fucking story. You got me fucked up. You understand? Black women ain't gonna grow till we take accountability. And I can still take accountability for things and grow and learn. But the problem is, it's always this woe is me. This is what I had to go through. So, I'm supposed to get a pass for my behavior or, you know, what I do and how I respond to shit. And that's not the way to grow in life. Y'all want to sit up here and talk about it ain't cool to laugh at trauma. It's not cool to laugh at trauma. It's not. But you know what's not cool? Manipulating the masses. Exploiting hashtags. Lying. Bitch, that's not okay. Hooking your friend up with a nigga and fucking them while the bitch is sick with COVID. That's not okay. But y'all don't want to talk about that. Y'all want to overlook everything that this girl done been a part of because, well, she got shot. Megan did not get shot. First of all, no, she wasn't. At best, because they did not present bullet fragments and all that other shit, bitch, at best, a bullet ricocheted and that affected her. So y'all really be amping up the whole motherfucking thing and acting like somebody just sat up and shot the bitch like she was 50 Cent. She is not Megan Jackson, okay? So y'all be doing the most to try to overlook her doggish ass ways and what the fuck she contributed to this situation. And I don't give a fuck who don't like it. And if you want to get up off my motherfucking live, you can. Because I'm not sparing no hoe. Thank you. And I wasn't sparing your ass before. But bitch, you want to get up here and do this with NBC? Okay then. The fuck? I was being nice to the bitch. The fuck? So anyway, it's important to hold people accountable, and y'all don't get to dismiss all the rest of the facts because, she got hurt. That's not how life works. That's not how this gonna work. No. So anyway, he talked about Megan and, how she felt suicidal and shit. And he said, even though Megan felt like that, she still came out, and that took a lot of courage. He said, count 1 is assault with a semi-automatic firearm. Count 2 for possession. At the burp, my fault. Count 2 is for possession, and count 3 is for negligence, basically. He said, on the afternoon that Megan gave her testimony, was she telling the truth? They quoted Megan about how hard it was to testify. And this how you know all this shit again. Now, the NBC article that came out today, huh? How about she sat up on that stand last Tuesday and said, I don't want to be here because not only do I have to sit in front of Tory, who hurt me, I got to sit in front of people that spreading misinformation about me. Mind you, I'm sitting in the courtroom. It wasn't too many other people that were named in that write-up that was in that courtroom. So you've been having a damn agenda, bitch, and dropped that little tidbit in there like, child, what? So that's what they quoted. And they quoted what she said, that people have been taking her power for about the last 3 years, and she didn't want to appear weak. She felt like she had to be strong and all that other shit. My nipple is not hot. That is the rim of the top. My nipple is brown, not burgundy. So they played the video of Megan in the damn ambulance. And so he was like, yeah, she was talking about them taking her power. And here goes an example of her breaking down. Child, God is so good. They played that video because they wanted you to hear Megan crying in the goddamn ambulance. Bitch, the sound ain't even come on. I said, child, what is this? They just turned that shit off. Bitch, God didn't even let the audio play. So the jury ain't get to hear her ass up in there crying because, baby, the shit ain't even work. I said, ain't this about a bitch? So then, this nigga gonna sit up there and say, why would she lie? Bitch, am I in the Twilight Zone? Did you ask me why Megan would lie? Like she ain't lied 50, 11 times. Like she ain't lied like one of the rugs that be outside the goddamn flea market. Like she ain't lied like the goddamn rug at your grandma's house. What the fuck you asking me why would she lie for? Like the bitch ain't been lying. That was a dumbass question to me. I was like, child, you want to win this case or what? So he was like, why would she lie? Then they bring up single witness testimony. These hoes is sitting up here talking about, if you can accept some of what she said, then you should be able to accept it all. And single witness testimony says that, you can accept it as a fact and move forward if that's the case. Okay. So then we get to what's supposed to be their evidence. The evidence, first of all, was Megan's testimony. The contradictory testimony, what she loved Shaddai? That one? I said, bitch, I know you lying. They said Kelsey Harris and her testimony. That's evidence. I said the yellow bitch that said she was lying with the patch in her head. Child, maybe her head grew back now. Bitch, I don't know. But I said, child, what? So he gonna say Kelsey Harris then versus now. Okay? He said when Kelsey came in September, she told the truth. They said, Millie, they out here saying Megan gonna sue you in academics. So he say something happened and Kelsey was compromised from September till now. Kelsey has been compromised and, obviously something has happened because she changed, her testimony and what she had to say. And so, there was a black juror that I saw shaking his head no. And I was like, sure. And so he said in July 2020, we got the real Kelsey. And it said July 20, 2022. These hoes done threw the PowerPoint together so fast, it ain't even got the right goddamn date on it. The prosecution about as lazy as the LAPD. I said, bitch, what? He talking about it should say July 12, 2022. Well, shouldn't that be something y'all went over and shouldn't that be something you fixed? Or should I just stop asking questions because I'm expecting too much from y'all ass? Which one? Let me know. So, they bring up the text to Justin at 4:27 a.m. And they said, this text was sent right after it happened. They said the defense wants you to believe that Kelsey shot her, but she had been comforting her. They said, is Kelsey a criminal mastermind? Is that why she sent that message at 4:27? What's going on? Then he said, where's Justin? I say, bitch, who is he talking to? You tell me. He say, where's Justin? I know I told y'all in opening statements that we had a witness, that was going to be coming forward and saying that Tory came over there and confessed. But we didn't deliver on that. You ain't delivered on the whole goddamn case. So just charge that one to the game, nigga. So they showed a video of Kelsey sitting outside, and they showed that she had some blood dripping down her damn leg. And so in the video, Kelsey talking about, Megan, you okay? And that's what they wanted to highlight. This man gonna say, Kelsey said, baby, are you okay? We all looked at each other because it's a lot of people that think that Megan and Kelsey was fucking. Am I a lot of people? On some days of the week. I don't know what the hell was going over there, bitch. I think it was a freak show orgy circus. Bitch, I think everybody was over there fucking everybody because that's what hoes be doing. But I don't know. Who am I? I'm just a bitch that be saying shit that I guess is about to get sued, bitch. I don't know. They're going to get a synthetic wig and a tire off my van, bitch. I know you fucking lying. So, he going to say that Kelsey said, baby, are you okay? And we all sitting up there looking like, what the fuck you mean, baby? Is you okay? Who the hell said that? This man so all over the place. He don't know what the hell he's talking about. So then he said the friendship did not end after the shooting. He said the friendship ended because of the situation and how it was handled. If Megan would have basically had her back, they wouldn't have fell out. It wasn't about no dick. Okay. They said the relationship dwindled because of no contact, and Megan felt alone and she felt isolated. Okay. Then they show the text message, and they talk about, you know, the text message where she said once again, "Hey Justin, this is what happened." They talked about injury photos. All of these things have been submitted into evidence, so they didn't put them up on the screen, but we know what they're talking about. They're talking about Kelsey and the bald patch on her head and the marks on her legs and on her arms. They also said that evidence was E.J. King's testimony. They brought up the jail call. They brought up the Instagram post that wasn't ever verified because the man ain't even looked for the IP address where allegedly Tory Lanez had said Kelsey did not shoot her. They brought up the video that I told you about with Officer Cabral where you can hear Kelsey saying, "Are you okay, Megan?" They said Megan's testimony was evidence. And then they said that the diss track was evidence because they said that Kelsey in the diss track was basically saying she didn't do it. That's how they received it. Okay. He said Kelsey wasn't protecting Megan because she didn't have no reason to. He's basically saying in September she told her truth. Now, let's go over evidence again because they went over evidence again. So he said Megan's testimony is evidence that we're doing bullet points. How many black jurors are there? There's an older black woman, a younger black girl, an older black man, and a younger black man. 4 black people. They said Kelsey's testimony was evidence. They said that the attempted bribes that they couldn't prove, they said that that was evidence. They said the jail call on July 12th at 9:05 a.m., that's evidence. And they said that the text that Tory sent to Megan apologizing at 9 p.m. that night saying sorry, that was evidence. They pointed out that Tory had said in the jail call, "I don't even know what we argued about." Okay? Then he called Kelsey Kelly. And I said, "Bitch, 3 strikes and your ass is out. Nah, damn. You're going to have to get your head in the game, Gigi." And so they basically said Tory couldn't have been apologizing for the argument or what took place because he said, "I didn't even know what we were arguing about." That was some stupid ass shit. So anyway, he said that the location of the gun was evidence. I'll refute that right now. Baby, the location of the gun was the front passenger seat. They changed seats in that car before they took off the last time. The person that rode in that seat the entire time was Megan. Do you understand that? I know y'all couldn't see, but they had the picture of the weapon and how they found it before they moved everything to take a clear picture of it. Babe, the Louis V bag was right on top of the gun. Okay? Get into it. So saying the location of the gun, baby, he was the last one to sit there. When they started off, Megan was in the front and Tory was in the back with Kelsey. So they got back in the car. They got back in the same spots. They got out the car again. And when they got back in, Tory got in the front. If Megan wouldn't have got hurt, her ass would have been in the front. But because a bitch needed to spread out and elevate her legs, they put her ass in the back. Come on now. So anyway, he said that the firearms evidence he said that was evidence. Because he felt like, now this directly points to him, when obviously it doesn't. The prosecution comes in and they use DNA evidence to nail niggas to the cross every day. But not DNA don't matter. Are you fucking kidding me? Could you imagine a courtroom in America where you got prosecutors telling you that DNA evidence doesn't matter? Now how fucking dumb do you sound? Let's get into Sean Kelly. He said that Sean Kelly's testimony was evidence. He said that Sean Kelly testified that Sean Kelly is the man who was at the home. He owned the home that they pulled over at. So he's the one that saw the shit. He was the independent witness. So he said that Sean Kelly said it was a chaotic scene. He heard 4 to 5 shots. He saw a female near the muzzle flash. And he said that he never saw anything in her hands. He said that he saw the shorter guy with the weapon with his arms outstretched and he shot 4 to 5 times. They said he was going crazy, he was agitated, and he was the loudest. They said Megan fell in the middle of the street and she was bleeding. And then they said Megan and Kelsey didn't have a gun that night. That's what he took from that testimony. He said Megan hates Kelsey. And that is a quote. That attorney said that Megan hates Kelsey. And I thought that was one of the most horrible things he could have said. I thought that was one of the dumbest things that he could have said. to sit up and say that. I had a feeling that the bitch hated her because she let her float around in the pool unconscious while she sat up in Kylie's fucking face. The bitch that she thought she was lame while she was at her multi-million-dollar mansion in her motherfucking pool, drinking up her liquor and making ground beef, bitch, for some tacos that nobody ever ate. But I do digress. I just thought that was really harsh, and I felt like, maybe that's why you ain't get the help you thought you was going to get. Oop. So anyway, they said, do you think that Kelsey and Megan brought a loaded gun to Kylie's house? Do you think that that's what happened? Well, betcha by golly, wow. They didn't have their fucking security. So maybe, baby, the fuck you mean? What you mean? Bitch, if I wasn't in California, bitch, I could have a gun in my purse and shoot your dumb ass. The fuck is you talking about? Yeah, it's possible, nigga. So anyway, they said that E.J. King's testimony was evidence. Who you talking to? Matter of fact, don't even worry about it. Don't say shit else to me. Whoever the fuck you was talking to. Talking about people be confusing victim blaming with accountability all the time. No, you hoes be confusing accountability with real life. Talking about fucking victim blaming. A victim of what? Y'all remember when Jay Prince said that Megan was a perfect candidate for self-destruction? That shit hitting hard than the motherfucker now, huh? Ciao. So anyway, they said that E.J. They said that E.J. King's testimony was evidence. They said that the DNA and the gunshot residue was evidence that people should consider. They said Quan's gun was in the center console and they had 4 contributors. Who in the fuck told y'all that was Quan's gun? And who in the fuck told y'all the gun was in the console? Not making shit up. I say, bitch, what? But that's what he said. They pulled up the Instagram post. And he said that once again was evidence. This is the post where Tory allegedly said Kelsey ain't do it. And so they said that's evidence. And then they made a list, okay, of everything that was direct evidence. Megan and Kelsey and Sean's testimony were direct evidence. Everything else that I just told you about was listed under circumstantial evidence. What do we do with circumstantial evidence? Throw it out. So anyway, he talking about some damn Occam's razor, and I maybe mispronounced that shit. OCCAMS is a philosophy. White man, we don't give a fuck about Occam, okay? We don't give a fuck about. What the fuck is you talking about? He done put this shit up here, bitch. I said, what the fuck is he talking? He did not do a good job to me. And people can have their own opinions, and I got mine. I don't think he did a good job. We don't give a fuck about Occam's razor, nigga. The fuck? So then they go into count 2. He gonna say Tory knew the gun was there. It was concealed and the vehicle was under his fucking discretion, like in his possession, because he said that Jaquan was Tory driver. So he was gonna be at the behest of Tory. Okay? Count 3, gross negligence. And they talked about that, and the gun being fired and shit. They wrapped up their closing arguments by saying, and quoting Megan, and she said that, I'm just depressed and I don't want to talk about it and I don't like being around people and all that kind of shit. And he said, and Megan said, I don't feel like I matter. He said, but Megan does matter. Her trauma matters. And she needs justice. I wish his damn closing arguments would have mattered. I wish that y'all would have had evidence that mattered. Okay? I wish that Akon, who sings It Doesn't Even Matter, would take that shit off the top of his head. It's a lot of matter in the world. You know what I'm saying? But, So then we get to George. George ate that nigga up and spit that nigga out. And I'm not lying to you. That Armenian man, I don't even know what the fuck they eat on Sundays. But whatever the fuck y'all eat, bitch, he ate them hoes up like that. And so George got up there and he thanked the jury. And he said, thank you for your time. Thank you for your consideration. Thank you for being here. We know it's the holidays and all that shit. La-da-dee-da-da-da. He said, if I have ever come off aggressive, I apologize. And to be able to self-reflect like that, I think them was bonus points. People love the humanity. And so he said, I'm just trying to fight for my client. And I would hope that if you had somebody that you cared about that was in Tory's situation, you would fight for them just as hard. So if I offended anybody, I'm sorry. Okay? You know people love shit like that. So I felt like, you did that. So then he said, baby, the defense don't have to prove anything. He said, we could have came up in here and we could have sat on our hands. We ain't have to say shit, but I did. He said, we ain't have to prove no case, but I did. I said, ooh, check that. So he said, the prosecution ain't came close to proving a motherfucking thing. He said, they the ones with the burden of proof. He said, what is reasonable doubt? And he went over the definition of reasonable doubt. And then he said to have reasonable doubt, so for that to exist, there has to be an abiding conviction, you know what I'm saying, of certain things. And he highlighted that and he, kind of talked about that for a second. He said the jury shouldn't be left to speculate. He said, all I heard was an hour and 15 minutes of speculation from the prosecution. Attorney Bot, DDA Bot, sat his ass up there and rambled for an hour and 15 minutes. One of the jurors fell asleep. I don't know if she diabetic and she took her medication, but she was doing the nod. You know, you take the medication and you, bitch, she was up in there fighting for her damn life. I said, somebody come get Big Mama her arm. I just was feeling like the little boy from Soul Food, and I just wanted the family to come back together at that point. But wasn't no money coming from the fan. Bitch, I was through with it. So then they started talking about the Fifth Amendment. And he was like, he explained what the Fifth Amendment was and that right that we have. He said, it's very unfortunate that this situation happened. He said Megan was shot, and that is horrible. But the person that has suffered as a result of these accusations is my client. He said, y'all want to talk about Megan and what she's been through. But my client has had almost 3 years of hell and turmoil and pain and fucking suffering. And he done lost so much. And so that's when he apologized for his arrogance. And then he said, and who was misleading who? He said, I told you that this was a case about jealousy. And they want you to believe that the problem was with my client, but the primary issue was with Kelsey and her being backdoored. He said, why wasn't Sean Kelly the witness for the prosecution? And I want y'all to, bitch, chew on that. Why in the fuck wasn't Sean Kelly that witness? Y'all want to be so transparent that he was the only unbiased party that saw that shit. Why y'all ain't put him up there? Because y'all know damn well that nigga said that he saw Kelsey with that damn gun. But pause, we'll get there. He said, why wasn't Sean Kelly that witness? And is there any evidence of why Justin didn't come to court? Why his ass ain't here? He said, and where's Jaquan? He said, why they didn't call Jaquan to the stand? Who really got something to hide? So then he said, they told you that my client was mad about his artistry being attacked. He said, did he mention that Sean Kelly had seen shit, or did he mention Sean Kelly at all in his opening statements or even as a witness? He said that he saw 2 girls fighting after arguing and that Jaquan tried to break up the fight. He said, so who is misleading who? He said, Mr. Kelly told you that when he called 911, he told him what he saw at the time. He said, was Kelly ever asked about a shooter or who the shooter was? No. He said, I had to recall Diaz up here because he told him that he said that there were 2 girls that fought. And it only took him 15 minutes to get there. And he told him the same story. He said, did he ever ask for the shooter? Because now we're getting into all the different ways that it could appear as though this was a botched ass situation. They said, did the officer ever ask that man, the witness, who the shooter was or a description? He said no. He said 4 days later, on July 16th, when they spoke to Sean Kelly, well, his story was the same. He said, did the prosecution call the lead detective? And this was a real good question. Did the prosecution call the lead detective, Detective Stogner? Did they call him to the damn stand? Why didn't they call him to the stand? Because they knew that he would have to testify to things that don't align with their narrative. So that was another great talking point. They said Sean Kelly told him that he heard loud noises, went on the balcony, and saw Quan separate the 2 women that was fighting. They said, wouldn't you have asked questions about the shooter if you done got a phone call about an active damn shooting and you done went on the scene? He said they tried to lead him, talking about everybody had something in their hands and everybody was doing this and that. He said that wasn't his story the first couple times he talked to authorities. And he said he also saw one girl go back to the car. And after that, that's when he heard a shot and the muzzle flash came from the women. So he said Sean Kelly testified that Kelsey went back to that motherfucking car. Why we ain't talking about that? They said, did Bot tell y'all anything about a fight? They said, what did Megan say? She got out the car. And they said, did they ever speak on why? Or acknowledge or get a foundation for why she got up out the car? He said, child, I ain't hear it. He said Tory shot her seconds later. She got out the car, and her story is that Tory shot her right after that. But Sean Kelly saw a whole motherfucking fight. Does that add up? No. They said Sean also said he never saw a gun. And he never said before he talked to prosecutors that he saw anything in Tory's hand or that Tory had done anything or was flailing his arms. He said after he spoke to Stogner, he told my people the same thing. He said, but 9 months later, he talks to the prosecution and now all of a sudden the story done changed. So I got a question for y'all. Why was it okay for y'all to hold on to what Kelsey said in September, even though she said she lied? But y'all don't want to hold on to what the fuck Sean Kelly said originally. That don't fit y'all narrative today. Oh. So, then they played the gunshots. Pop, 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 pause, pop, pop. He said, why was there a pause? Because it was a struggle. Because Tory was trying to stop Kelsey. He said, is this logical to you? Very logical, sir. They said, who has more of a motive? The man with the bruised ego or the bitch that just found out that a hoe was sleeping with her man? You decide. They said, why didn't Mr. Kelly say that Tory shot like he was crazy? And why didn't Megan ever tell y'all that? If he was flailing his arms around and just shooting all over everywhere, why didn't nobody say that at first? They said, does Sean Kelly have an interest in this case or does Megan? He said, let's talk about Megan Pete for a second. They said, if you decide that a witness purposely lied, you must throw all of that shit out. And we talked about this, before this case got started. If you lie, you steal. If you steal, you kill. If Megan ass gonna lie about one thing, what does it stop? That's the question. So he presented that to the courts and said, bitch, throw all of this shit out because she's not reliable. He outright said, Megan is a liar. And that is not misinformation at all. Lying asshole. Megan is a liar. He said Megan lied to Gail. Megan lied on national TV. Megan lied on Instagrams, bitch. He said Megan lied for 2.5 motherfucking years. He said Megan lied to everybody, buddy. He said, I asked about a fight when Megan was on the stand, and she ain't say nothing about a fight. He said they accused my client of beating Kelsey. He said, but where his charges at? He say if Tory had beat Kelsey and they really felt like that was something that they could have a foundation for, why they ain't pressed charges against Tory for whooping her ass? They tried to throw them robbery charges up there. They threw that negligence charge up there. Why y'all didn't accuse him? Why y'all ain't giving no charges for that? Okay. He said, my client was trying to save the black woman y'all sitting up here talking about got hurt. Bitch. I wanted to slide down in that seat. Y'all remember the commercials about them telling us not to do drugs? Bitch, I say, damn, I could picture that shit. I said, bitch, you could have bought me for $1. What the hell are you talking about? He said, my client was trying to save the black woman. I said, oh, come on. He was giving it to him, bitch. He was selling it. He said, Sean Kelly and Megan have very different stories. He say, how in the hell did my client shoot 4 or 5 times when Kelsey shot first? Common sense, bitch. The gun was fired 5 times and they emptied that hoe. So that means it was only 5 bullets in it. If Kelsey started shooting first, how in the hell Tory shot all the shots? Per Sean Kelly. Not logical. Reasonable doubt. And so he said, why the pause? He said, I challenged Kathy Ty and them to get up here and explain why it wasn't a straight 5 shots and it was a pause. He said, my challenge stands. He said, why did Mr. Kelly say that Kelsey went to the car? He said, how can you believe anything that Megan or Kelsey says? He said, ain't that the definition of reasonable doubt? He said, EJ told y'all that he told Megan plenty of times that her wig was coming off and she didn't want to leave. He said, but even though she said that that's the reason why she left was because her wig was slipping, you didn't ever want to leave because your wig was slipping. So what the hell you talking about? They said, y'all don't believe that she was jealous? They said, did they all leave together like Megan said? Because Kelson and EJ said that they left the first time. Megan didn't acknowledge that they left before they was at the house. Megan said everybody left at one time. EJ was already gone. That's why she rode with Tory. And that they just all left that time. No. He said Kylie had to throw her ass out. And he said, what has Megan been truthful about? What? He was waiting on an answer. He said Megan said that she wasn't involved in the argument. He said Megan stopped at the bus stop, but she ain't tell y'all who told her to get back in and who convinced her to get back in. Even though Kelsey said that Tory got out damn at the same time and told her to get her dumb ass in the car because you are literally in a bikini with no shoes on at 4 o'clock in the morning in L.A. Like, what are you doing? This is nigger shit. This is just stupid shit. So, he say, Megan said that she saw Tory shoot over the window and that she was walking towards the front. He said, well, everybody else said that she walked towards the back of the car. He said, was there a door that he would have been able to shoot over if Megan was walking towards the back of the car and he got out on the passenger side? That's a question. No. What would he be shooting over if she walking behind him? You have an answer for that? Okay. He said her own Instagram post said that she was facing the back. So she didn't see shit. And he said, she said that in preliminary. And y'all can pull up them transcripts. That's what she said. And she put it on Instagram. I was walking away facing the back. That's what she said. He said the blood trail. We know she bled in the driveway, but where did it start? We don't know. He said, what kind of investigation was this? They was using papers for placards. He said, she said that she never fought with Kelsey. He said Megan Pete took a damn oath and lied to y'all ass. I'm cussing, but that's basically what he said. He said, let's get into this dance bitch claim. He said, didn't nobody else hear that shit but Megan. He said Sean Kelly ain't heard nothing like that, and he was right there. And Kelsey didn't hear nothing like that, but she was right there. He said Megan came up with that shit months later to explain why she turned around. And I said, damn, you good. So let's get into it. When Megan originally gave statements, she did not say anything about no damn dance bitch. That is not what she said. But by the time other people done got involved, now she's saying he said dance bitch. That gave her a reason to turn around and to be able to say that she saw him. Because what reason would she have turned around for if she wouldn't have heard him say something? So the prosecution painted a picture that you had to throw that in and you lied to give you an excuse to be able to try to act like you saw that nigga when you really didn't. That's basically the implication. He said Megan came up with that shit months later to explain why she turned around. He said Megan was drunk and mad and aggressive. He said, damn, she might have lied the first day, but then she kept on lying. What was the reason for that? He said they want to accuse my client of bribery, but they ain't pressed no charges on that either. He said, what are charges on that? Well, as you know, let me go blow my nose. Hold on. He said, as you know, that shit got thrown out. Ain't no charges. I had to give me a Kleenex. Okay. He said, ain't no damn charges for no bribery. So why is we talking about bribery? Ain't nobody proved that shit. And so he said, the apology came, and then he allegedly said, I'll give you $1 million. He said that was 4 days after the incident that she was talking to police. He said Megan got her ass up and said she didn't want to say nothing and she don't deal with police. And in our community, you know, people don't like snitches. But Megan, that's a misrepresentation because you had already talked to the police. He said she accused Tory of posting shit or getting his team to post shit. And she said that's the reason why she said something. He said, but from July 12th to the 16th, which is when Megan finally said something, he said, ain't nobody produced nothing that Tory or his people said. So what the fuck is that at? If you only came out and said something because Tory people had said something, can you explain to us what the hell was said, Megan? Because we ain't seen a damn thing. Shade Room, do y'all have it? TMZ, y'all supposed to have every damn thing. Did an independent source to give y'all ass that? No, I'm finna have to charge it. But yeah, I'm just like, bitch, what? And so he said when Megan initially was talking about what she felt and what was going on, she ain't say a damn thing about George Floyd. He said Megan also said that she didn't even know she was shot and she didn't want to make false allegations. How do you ever say that you didn't know you got shot and you don't want to make false allegations when you claim that you saw the person that shot you? Does that make sense? Child, these hoes giving me indigestion. I had to burp, excuse me. He said, why wasn't the interview with Megan recorded? They sitting all up on fucking phone lines. He said, y'all doing interviews with the main witness and y'all don't record y'all interactions. He said, what's up with that? He said, what was more newsworthy? Megan getting shot by Kelsey or Tory? Oh, he painted this picture that, bitch, it was profitable and it was more traction for Megan to say that Tory did it versus Kelsey. He said, Megan got shot and that sucks. But to sit up and mislead people, that ain't okay. I said, I know that's right. He said, it's been so bad for Megan, but she's been winning Grammys, went #1, got all these deals and all this. He said, wow, what a horrible career after this situation. And see, we got to stop with the narratives. Y'all want to sit up here and pretend like Megan had to suffer so much after that shooting, like that shit did not propel the fuck out that girl. What planet do y'all be on? Is it Earth? I don't know. So he said Tory the one that suffered. He the one that had to go through being accused of a whole bunch of shit without y'all ever hearing what he had to say. His family done been motherfucking ridiculed and everything else without y'all hearing what he had to say. Then he said something so very important. He said, Megan said that she had nerve damage. Y'all remember that? Y'all remember Megan said that? He said, but the doctor that operated on her, that the prosecution called up, said there was no nerve damage. And that's a fact because I told y'all last that. I wrote it down. Y'all can go read the transcripts. The doctor that helped with the fucking procedure said Megan had no damn nerve damage. So the physical therapy and the I can't walk and, you know, it's hard to talk and I got shot 2 times and I ate that shit. Bitch, we're confused. Okay, what's going on with that? He said Megan's career has skyrocketed. He said Megan came forward because her team told her to. He said probation. Tory was never on no damn probation. He said, is there any evidence of Tory being on probation? No. He said he had a situation and got a diversion. He said, but that shit was closed in 2017 and you would still have had to have gone to court to be put on probation. So that still wasn't a fucking truth. He said, why did Megan, oh damn, bitch, they poking my voodoo doll. My back got a damn pain in it real quick. Oh, bitch, quit fucking playing with me. So he said, why did Megan lie about a sexual relationship? He said Megan lied due to her image. He said, how would it have looked for them to report that she slept with Kelsey Mann and ended up getting shot? He said that wouldn't have been a good look for the hot girl. He said, let's talk about Kelsey and her damn immunity and invoking her 5th Amendment rights. He said if Kelsey had no reason to invoke them, why would the judge allow it? Get into it. He said, Kelsey said, I lied to protect myself. He said, yeah, she did after she found out that she had gunshot residue on her ass and a witness was about to say that she shot that damn girl. So then he said, Kelsey didn't want to talk to nobody for 2 years. But coincidentally, after she found out that she was going to be named as the motherfucking shooter, she ready to voluntarily talk to the prosecution. Yeah, okay. I said, shit, okay. He said, Kelsey said she was trying to free herself. He said she heard evidence and she wanted to remove herself from this shit, all right. He said, let's go over use and transactional immunity and the definitions. Use immunity basically means that you can say something on the stand and it can't be used against you. But you can still perjure yourself. And if they, find enough evidence otherwise to convict you or something, they still can. Blanket immunity, transactional immunity is complete immunity. You can get your ass up there and say, bitch, I shot the president and they can't do nothing. That's blanket immunity. She did not get that. He said, why only use immunity? He said, because with the gunshot residue and Sean Kelly's testimony, that could still have been used against her. He said, do you think that Kelsey would have got on that stand and said that she did anything when she could have still been prosecuted? He said, even though Kelsey got up there, he said when Kelsey did the interview in September, that was not evidence, that was not under oath. But he said Kelsey lied in that interview to appease people. But when she got on the stand, she had to tell the truth because she didn't want to perjure herself. And that's why she needed the protection. Logical shit to me. Why would Kelsey need it at all? Ask yourself. So anyway, he said if Kelsey was there for Megan and she didn't do nothing, why did she need so many lawyers? He said, what the hell was Kelsey worried about? He said the only person that changed their story was Mr. Kelly after he talked to the prosecution. And he said, and why didn't they mention Sean Kelly? Why wasn't he one of their witnesses? He said that audio wasn't no damn evidence. He said, but her testimony could have been perjury. He said Kelsey sat up and said that they bumped into one another, but she act like it wasn't no fight. Child, he said we relying on some drunk hoes. Really? He said Megan was drunk, Kelsey was drunk. This is what we relying on. He said they was passed out drunk, Kelsey was, and they drank some more. He said, are these women credible? He said Megan lied, so y'all need to throw out all of her testimony. He said Megan ain't say nothing about backdooring Kelsey, but Kelsey said, yeah. Then he gonna say, bitch, I was weak. He said, I didn't want to say his name because I didn't want the media to run with it. He said, but Kelsey said, this ain't the first time you did this to me. You did this with Ben Simmons. He said Ben Simmons' name in court again today. I said, child, what is going on? He said, my client told him that he fucked them both and they got mad. I'm being more black and white with it. Obviously, he's not cursing in the courtroom and all that kind of shit since y'all take everything as a Bible. But, that's what happened. And so he said, who got the motive? Like, who actually has the motive? He said, Tory only 5'2". Megan big as she 5'11". He said, and Sean saw the fight. He said, Tory didn't pull her hair out, Kelsey hair out. Megan, the witness, say he saw the women fighting and pulling hair. He said Kelsey sent that damn text message to Justin to set up an alibi. Because if she knew what she had done and she started that shit, then that would put her ahead of the game. He said Sean Kelly said that he saw a woman with the gun first. He said, let's talk about the damn jail call. He said they want y'all to believe that Tory apologized for shooting her, even though that's not what he said. And he said that he was being recorded. He said Tory knew he was being recorded. So why the fuck would he apologize to Kelsey if he shot Megan? He said the only thing he was really apologizing for was the fact that he should have never let the cat out the bag. That they was having sex. So he said, we got to follow the law. All this damn circumstantial evidence. He said Kelsey already was gone from the damn police station when Tory talked to her. So what the fuck would he have been asking her for? Or trying to get information from her for to try to stop her from talking to them? She was already done. He said Kelsey didn't go up there to the hospital as no good friend. He said she needed a ride from the station. So Jilly picked her up and Jilly was already going over there. So Kelsey went too. He said, baby, this ain't that. Kelsey wasn't that damn concerned him trying to take her ass up there. He said there was no statements about a shooting at that point. He said he was sorry to Kelsey for spilling the beans. And Megan was just mad about Kylie. He said the reason why Tory said that he was the one that was going to get backlash in a phone call was because he was the one that was in custody. Everybody else got let out. Who in the fuck else was going to get backlash but him? Duh. So then he brought up Officer Cabral. He said Officer Cabral, when I'm asking questions about shit, said that the clothing was unisex. He said, was bikinis and shit unisex? Do you really think Tory ran bikinis and shit? And then so he said, and wasn't the bag already open? He said Cabral got up here and said Kelsey looked distraught, but didn't know nothing about how Tory was feeling, even though she was standing right in between them, and she's supposed to be paying attention to everything going on. Bitch, the prosecution said objection. I said, just lose in peace. Shut the fuck up. And so, they said, you mean to tell me the officer ain't heard nothing from Tory? They said Tory also asked Megan if she was okay. But I guess they want to leave that part out too. Okay. They said, let's wrap up for the day and come back tomorrow. So that's where they stopped that at. And then that's when I found out that that lady Jody Little was like, oh no, I'm lying. Pause. The defense also said, I only got 2 minutes left and I'm going to come right back. I see the timer up. He said when Jody Little came up there, she wouldn't answer me. But when the prosecution got up there, she remembered exactly what they was talking about. He said, I showed Jody Little the damn lyrics from Bustin' Back, and she still played crazy. But when the prosecution asked her something she remembered, he said, y'all remember me saying, oh, you remembered that, huh? And she laughed and said, yeah. Child, I say, yeah. He said, do you really think that she's neutral? And then that's when I found out that they had found Justin and they was trying to get him in the courtroom. He said, come back for the shit the next day, and whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. And that's what happened to